perfected this electromagnetic detonating device, which allows a bomb to be triggered from a distance of 150 yards. It means that the country possessing my detonator can plant bombs at strategic points in an enemy country and then activate them by means of what I have called remote control.
My God!
Consider the ominous situation in Europe. If I offer my device to my native Austria, I fear may fall into the hands of the Kaiser and thus lead to a war which might kill millions. So, I turn to Britain, the protector of the civilized world.
A good approach. I must have assurances, however, that your device does all that you represent. You understand?
Oh, completely.
Well, then I pray you will allow me to take the prototype and plans with me. I promise you I will protect them with my life. And if our experts agree that your invention is of merit, then we'll pay you a generous sum.
How generous, Herr Ambassador?
£100, shall we say?
My device for chopping and slicing potatoes brought more than that. I thought of something more like £1,000.
Oh, well, that's rather a lot.
Germany would pay double that amount. The Tsar 3 times.
Ah. Well, I think £1,000 would be acceptable.
My mental powers atrophy from lack of stimulation, Watson. In this fog, a thief or murderer could roam the streets of London with abandon. And yet, not one word do I hear such events.
Can I be hearing correctly? Are you complaining that there isn't more crime in the streets of London, Holmes?
Certainly not. I am complaining, as you put it, that there is not more interesting crime on the streets of London. Could it be that there is? And no one is consulting me about it.
Why would they do that?
I'm getting old, Watson. My mental powers are not what they were. I fear the word has spread.
Nonsense. You're as brilliant as ever.
Mr. Holmes, I've had enough. My nerves won't stand it. You promised you'd never do that again.
I know, Mrs. Hudson, I know. I'll pay for the damage.
The bullet went right through my china swan. It was a souvenir from Brighton. How will I ever replace it?
I'm sorry. It's this infernal fog. A man needs something to do.
You want something to do? You can go into my sitting room and clean up the mess. You could have shot me, you know.
Evening, sir.
Your brother, sir.
Sherlock, you are needed at once.
Hello, Mycroft. And how are you?
Perfectly well, thank you. Dr. Watson.
How do you do?
Thieves have stolen the plans and prototype for an electromagnetic bomb detonator just as they were being purchased by Britain. The inventor died in an attempt to retrieve them. There is no way to recreate the device, and the machine is so appalling that only Britain can be trusted not to put it to use. You must drop whatever petty puzzles of the police courts you may be dealing with and go immediately to Vienna.
Mycroft, I'm not about to go running off to Vienna at your whim. Surely the Austrian authorities...
Should the Austrians find the device, it would be naive to think that they would hand it over to Britain.
What luck, Holmes. It's just what you
There are
were...
more important matters at hand.
But only this
There's
morning.
the business of Lady Fitzmorgan and the bareback rider.
You never told me.
And the affair of the Amateur Mendicant Society. I think you should go to Vienna yourself, Mycroft.
Come, Sherlock. You very well know that I am not the man to run here and there, to cross-question witnesses, to lie on my face with a lens to my eye. No. The preservation of the civilized world is at stake, and you alone can save it.
Very well. Since you recognize that the matter requires such slight powers as I may possess, I will make what sacrifices I must.
I knew your country could rely on you. How soon can you depart?
Watson, why are you not packing our bags?
Ah, yes.
Yes. This part is attached to the bomb. Then you press this detonator button and bang!
The world
world will know of our cause.
Now, don't tell me. Let me make a few observations. You are an Englishman. The cut of your clothes betrays you. You're a gentleman. Your bearing indicates it. And you are a man of acute observation and understanding. The look in your eyes alone is enough to put that beyond doubt. Well, you are. There can be no possible mistake. The great Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
Who the devil are you, sir?
Oh, I say, totally forgot to introduce myself. The Honourable Michael Simpson Makepeace, 3rd Secretary, British Embassy. The ambassador sent me to greet you, Mr. Holmes.
My thanks to the ambassador, Mr. Simpson Makepeace.
Oh, I say, I got it jolly well wrong. Terribly sorry. But, Mr. Holmes, how did you know my name? Marvellous deduction.
Elementary, my dear Mr. Simpson Makepeace. I heard you tell it to Dr. Watson. Would you take us to see the ambassador without delay?
Oh, but sir, he's at the opera. It's the opening of Die Fledermaus.
We'll have to wait for the interval.
Holmes, isn't that...
Who is the lady singing, Rosalie?
The great American diva, Madame Irene Adler.
The woman.
An odd sort of thing.
Most ingenious. Most deadly.
This will fetch a pretty penny.
Unlike you, we did not do this for the money, Herr Oberstein, but for the glory of our cause.
And your cause is in desperate need of funds. Here, Kozic.
Why couldn't Fancy be here for the unveiling?
He had to be at the theater, of course.
Of course.
Hello. Sorry, are you right? Shall I have someone fetch you a napkin?
No, just have them fetch me a pot, in case I throw up from this production.
I'm so glad you could come, Mr. Holmes.
Time is short, Sir Reginald. Can you tell me who at the embassy had knowledge of the hour at which you were to visit the inventor of the detonating device?
Well, you're not suggesting that somebody at the British Embassy is involved in this?
I know it may sound preposterous, but just to set my mind at rest.
Well, I sent Simpson Makepeace to arrange the meeting, but then almost everybody might have known, from the first secretary down to the coachman.
Then we shall have to pursue the other line of inquiry, the attack itself. Kindly describe the men who snatched the case.
Well, I'd be very happy to, but I hardly saw them. It all happened so fast. Well, one of the assailants was a burly fellow, but the other, the one who actually seized the case, was rather slender, wrapped in a cloak, almost like a woman.
Like a woman? Would you be kind enough to describe the case itself?
Well, brown, rectangular, leather, with a handle, and locks.
Could you be more specific, Sir Reginald?
Well, no, I mean, what else is there to say?
It was just over 17 inches long, 5 inches high, and 11 inches wide, Mr. Holmes.
I congratulate you, Lady Violet. Your memory is remarkable.
One might even say inexplicable.
Well, actually, I bought the case. and sent it as a gift to Reggie by post. I had to measure it exactly to find the right box, you see?
What do you think? Death is too good for him. Agreed.
Your name is?
Franz Müller, sir. But everyone calls me Franzi.
Herr Müller, did you see the thief run into the theater?
No, sir. Only the elderly gentleman. The villain must have come some other way in.
But the front doors were locked. That fact has been established.
Are you accusing me of lying?
No, no. Perhaps you didn't notice him because he was someone who belonged here.
Yes. They were in the middle of dress rehearsal.
Was anyone late for the rehearsal?
If they were, they did not come through here.
Thank you. Oh, excuse me. My name is Watson, Dr. Watson. You are the conductor of the orchestra, aren't you?
Yes. Franz Zimmer at your service.
Well, Herr Zimmer, I don't wish to take too much of your time. I'm inquiring into the circumstances of the death of the famous inventor, Dr. Conan.
Oh, Eberhard, you were wonderful.
Splendid performance, sir. Absolutely splendid.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Why don't you two run off somewhere for a few minutes while I attend to business? Violet, I'll leave you in good hands.
The very best. He doesn't know how good.
Darling, you are wonderful.
Ladies and gentlemen, please. Without this gentleman, I could have done nothing. My director, Franz Dietrich. Ah, thank you, Franzi.
You are the sturdy pillar on which the whole show rests. And I have here a little token of my appreciation.
Ah, a bat. How nice. Now, is this for my ability to see in the dark or my ability to get into people's hair?
I don't suppose you have a jewel such as that for a mere understudy, Herr Dietrich?
Of course I do, my dear Olga.
Thank you.
Now, please, everyone, you must give me a chance to change.
Ah, Mr. Holmes, I thought of something after we talked. The assailant, the slight one, who snatched the case, I caught hold of his coat. It was an ulster, tan with green checks, and I feel sure that I tore the collar.
I see.
Sir Reginald, oh, I'm so pleased you could attend the performance.
Oh, you were splendid, Madame Adler. Absolutely splendid. You sing like a veritable bird.
Well, not, I hope, a duck.
Oh.
Or perhaps a goose.
So you will be there, won't you, Franzi? Yes, Franzi. But first I must stop at my apartment to get my pistols.
No, I'm sure Violet wants to congratulate you as well, but she's away somewhere at the moment talking to Eberhard.
No doubt.
Well, I really must go. My felicitations once again.
Thank you so much.
Madam, your performance made my eyes shine and my ears swoon. Oh, no. Allow me.
Thank you, sir. Have we met?
Forgive me. Ned Elliott, Peru, Indiana, USA. Your wish is my command.
Well, you are a very sweet young man. I do hope we'll meet again someday, Mr. Elliott.
Someday? Why not now? Tonight. And forever.
Well, as delightful as that sounds, right now I would like to be alone with my guests, if you don't mind.
On a night like this? Never. Tonight, I'm gonna take you to dinner at the most expensive restaurant in Vienna.
Mr. Elliott, that is very kind of you, but I couldn't possibly allow you to spend so much money on me. I must decline.
Nonsense. I adore you. I can't live without you. You must have supper with me.
Young man, a lady has a prior engagement. She is supping with me. Good evening.
And who might you be, sir?
My name is Sherlock Holmes. And it is my privilege to escort Madame Adler to supper tonight.
All right. I'll go. But I'll tell you this, whoever you are, buddy, there'll be other nights.
Mr. Sherlock Holmes. After all these years.
I last saw you when I witnessed your wedding to Godfrey Norton.
I always thought that was you in disguise.
As you tricked me by playing the young lad in front of my door.
Only because you, disguised as that clergyman, tricked me into giving away the location of my safe. No more tricks.
No, indeed. And how is Mr. Norton?
Oh, you don't know? No, of course you wouldn't. Godfrey died 2 years ago.
I'm sorry.
A long illness, not unexpected. It's only since then that I have resumed my career.
I trust you've recovered from the shock of the body falling at your feet.
Oh, yes, that poor man. Well, where should we go for supper, then?
Supper? But I only said that to discourage the lad.
Oh, then are you saying you don't want to have supper with me?
Dear lady, I'd be delighted to take you to supper, but there is an urgent...
Done. I'll meet you at the restaurant Soccer in 1 hour. Off with you.
Agreed. Yes?
Captain Franz Windhauser, Imperial Austrian Police. Mr. Sherlock Holmes, I have come to inform you that your arrival in Vienna has not gone unnoticed. And we will be equally strict in keeping observation of you, however long you choose to stay.
I'm honored, sir. So much so that whenever I observe you observing me, I shall greet you most cordially. Good night.
You had better not break any one of our laws while you are here, or your tour will include the inside of an Austrian prison.
Dear me, what a daunting prospect. But thank you for your warning, Captain. I'm sure it was most kindly meant.
It was most seriously meant. Good night.
Thank you. In there.
Low quality, locally made, thousands sold. Cheap talcum, pomade, clues for 1,000 suspects.
Thank you. I'm more than ready for supper. Shall we go to the dining room?
Actually, old fellow, I've got a previous engagement.
Oh. Well, I suppose I could order something in the room, unless I may join you.
I'm afraid not. I'm supping with a lady.
The woman.
We spent those last few years just going from spa to spa, from hope to hope, while I watched someone that had been a whole man slowly become a shadow.
I should never have brought up the subject.
No, don't be silly. But I do think I will change it. Is it true that you call me the woman?
How did you... Of course. Watson's writings. I fear my chronicler has a sad tendency to romanticize.
Are you saying you allow Dr. Watson to just make things up out of whole cloth?
Well, I may once have said such a thing. I have thought about you from time to time, I must admit.
And I of you, Sherlock.
Only my brother calls me that.
Would you prefer Mr. Holmes, then? You and I, we should be above all pretense.
There is something that I must ask you, and yet...
And yet?
And yet I fear the answer.
Sherlock Holmes afraid of a woman? Of the woman?
Afraid for the woman.
All I need fear is that I may say more than I should.
About what happened at the theater? That tragic rehearsal?
The theater? Is that all you care about?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you.
Oh, no. Go right ahead. What would you like to know?
Quite simply, where were you in the time prior to making your stage entrance?
Where was I? Why?
Please.
All right, I was in my dressing room.
And your maid?
Hilda.
She was with you?
Yes.
Good.
Oh, no, I believe I sent her out to run some errands.
So you were alone?
Yes. I needed to be alone before such an important rehearsal.
You had no visitors?
None.
Not even one with black, shiny boots?
I do believe I have had quite enough of
Only one more question. Did anyone see you in the wings on your way from your room to the stage?
How should I know if anyone saw me?
Quite right. I should have said, did you see anyone in the wings?
Yes. No. I don't know. Perhaps a small flurry out of the corner of my eye.
Think. Who could it have been?
I can't remember. It was all a blur. My mind was on my entrance. Perhaps it was our director, Franz Dietrich. Now, sometimes he stands in the wings to watch the rehearsal. Says it gives him a different perspective.
Well, I must see him at once. Can you tell me where I can find him?
There's a cast party going on over at the Café Greensteidl.
No. Absolutely not. There is no way on earth.
Are you saying that you were not in the wings during the rehearsal?
No. I am saying I cannot possibly say whether I was in the wings during dress rehearsal. I haven't the faintest idea where I was at any given moment. You see, I have the world's worst memory. Everybody knows that, except me, of course, because I just forget what I was talking about.
There's nothing you can do for this malady?
As a matter of fact, I have recently found the doctor brilliant fellow. They say he's highly eccentric, but how would I know? He mesmerizes me, and it all comes back, voila. A bit of staging, a casting notion. My God, I'm going to be sick.
Food poisoning?
Reviews! Don't be that! Hoffmanns! Die Wiener Zeitung! It is very silly, but Herr Hoffmann hates everything I ever do, and I cannot help to try to make him like me. It's just a game. Nothing serious. Director Dietrich is all the subtlety of a hippopotamus.
His choices are highly inventive, though unfortunately often inappropriate, when not downright imbecile.
Pistols or the sword, whichever you choose.
It will have to be pistols, for they tell me your sword has not worked in years.
Very well. Shall we go outside?
On second thoughts, I will not duel with you. I will only duel with a man.
I trust Herr Hoffmann was kinder in his review of your performance.
Oh, most kind. He said that I sang with poise and humanity.
He omitted only to mention your beauty. May I ask you one more question?
Anything.
Do you own an ulster? Tan with green checks?
Sherlock, I know you're a genius, but this is Vienna. Don't you think you could take your mind off the case just for a few hours?
Come back with me to my hotel.
My goodness, you can take your mind off the case when you want to.
We didn't expect you.
I have a message, Herr Oberstein.
Francis thinks it is possible that someone saw you in the theater.
No, no one. I ducked back in the shadows. I do not think anyone could have.
Precisely, you do not think. What if someone did see you?
I have a way to find out. If I was seen, I will soon know about it.
Good. And if there are any witnesses, they must be taken care of.
They will be.
You must take off your coat.
No. I know, just give me a chance. So you like to see what you're doing, eh?
That will be quite enough, thank you. Please put this on. Certainly not a coat you would have chosen intentionally, but if you had been purposely in disguise...
Now, would you mind telling me the meaning of this little charade?
You do not know.
I cannot think of a single reason for such extraordinary behavior.
The assailant who took the ambassador's case had an ulster such as this one, which I found hanging on a peg in your dressing room.
So you think that I am that assailant? That thief? That murderer?
Please, bluster will not help. During the struggle, the ambassador tore the collar of the thief's coat. Look at the collar.
And on this absurd collection of circumstances, you would presume to believe that I, Irene Adler, am a common thief.
I am a detective. I neither believe nor disbelieve, but I cannot ignore evidence.
Very well. I think I should leave.
Allow me to call you a cab.
Sir, a gentleman would escort a lady home.
A gentleman would, should, and shall. Watson. Watson, are you awake?
What? Oh, yes.
Would you be good enough to escort Madame Adler back to her hotel?
Confess.
No.
Confess.
No! No. Oh.
Watson, we are plagued with bad memories and preoccupations. The director remembers nothing and the leading lady remembers no one.
Perhaps she remembers more than she was saying. Only there was some way of making Madame Adler remember who or what it was she saw in the dark.
Yes. Dietrich's doctor. Watson, you've done it again.
Yes? Just relax, Madame Adler. Let all your worries go out of your mind.
This is poppycock. Surely we cannot submit Madame Adler to this trickery.
I assure you my use of hypnotism is not trickery, Dr. Watson.
Pure charlatanism.
You doubt the existence of the unconscious mind? The mind behind the mind, where fears and desires rule?
Absurd. I can't speak for you, sir. But I have no unconscious mind.
On the contrary, I might suggest you are entirely unconscious.
Touché. Would you oblige us, Watson, by keeping silent while Dr. Freud attempts to hypnotize Madame Adler, and then we can judge his abilities by the results.
Hypnotize away. Only as poppycock.
Are you comfortable, Madame Adler?
Yes, very.
Good. Now, just regard this silver ball. Think of nothing but this silver ball.
Poppycock.
You are asleep now. Now you are fast asleep.
Asleep.
Now you are back in the theater. It is dress rehearsal. You are coming from your dressing room. What do you see?
I see a figure in the dark on the ladder from the catwalk.
A man or a woman?
I can't tell. It's a very slight figure. I think it's a man.
What does he look like?
He's wearing an Ulster coat and a cap. He's taller than I, and he climbs down the ladder.
Down, not up.
Yes, down.
Fight on the catwalk.
Now you're on the stage singing. You look up at the disturbance on the catwalk above your head. You remember all. What do you see?
I look up, and I see...
Yes?
No, I can't. I can't. Please. No.
When I count to 3, you will awaken, Madame Adler. 1, 2, 3. How do you feel?
Fine. Fine.
Dr. Freud, what does that mean?
I don't know. But sometimes a patient is not altogether suitable for hypnosis.
Can a person fight hypnosis?
Of course. I cannot make a patient say anything under hypnosis that he or she is unwilling to tell me.
I see.
Did this experiment further your investigations, Mr. Holmes?
We shall see. And now we must get back to the theater. And, if luck holds, to the detonator. Watson?
It seems to me she could be in play acting.
I agreed to have dinner with her at her flat tonight, so we shall see. I think this must be the ladder that she spoke to us about. Aha!
What is it?
It appears to be 17 inches long by 11 inches wide.
Holmes, you found the ambassador's case.
I'm afraid not. All I've found are his dimensions written in dust. We're too late, Watson.
Holmes, I've deduced something.
I'm glad one of us has.
If the man that Madame Adler saw came in at the time she said, then the doorkeeper must have been lying when he told me no one entered. That man has something to hide.
Well done, Watson. Well done.
He could be in league with the conspirators. We must interview him now.
Oh, no, I leave that to you. After all, it was your idea.
Yes. Yes, I'll do it. And I know precisely how. I'll scare him into an admission.
Excuse me, Mr. Holmes. I am Franz Zimmer. Yesterday, Dr. Watson asked if anyone had been late for the dress rehearsal.
Yes?
I only remember this morning, my leading man, Eberhard Baum, missed his first cue completely. Immediately before the man fell from the flies.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Mr. Holmes, there you are. Sir Reginald has appointed me to be your special assistant. You know, 2 heads and all that.
Admirable, my boy, but I've already got 2 heads. Dr. Watson.
Oh, yes, of course. But, well, to be blunt, Dr. Watson is getting on in years.
As am I, young man.
Oh, but with such a mind as yours, you will be ever young, sir.
Dr. Watson has spent many years in service at my side and is not about to be released to pasture.
No, sir, I never meant to suggest.
Very well. Now you wait outside, and when we have finished here, then you can take us to the scene of the robbery. Are you certain, Mr. Bloom, that you wouldn't rather we speak in private?
Matilda's a trusted friend. You can say anything in front of her.
Very well. Then why were you late on your stage entrance at the tragic dress rehearsal?
I am never late on cue.
Oh, come, sir. The entire production will testify to your tardiness. No prevarications, if you please.
I cannot say, but I have good reason not to answer.
There is never a good reason to conceal the truth.
But if a lady is involved...
An answer I have heard all too often.
Then you must hear it again. I'll not name the lady.
Not even if her name begins with a letter V.
Ah. Matilda, perhaps you better go.
You and the lady were you not, situated by the curtains alongside the stage?
How did you...
Tell me what you saw of the struggle between Dr. Fröhlich and his assailant.
Mr. Holmes, I saw nothing. It's the God's honest truth.
Come, man, you were but a few feet away. Do you expect me to believe that?
When a man has a woman in one's arms, her body pressed close to one's own, one is hardly conscious of one's surroundings.
Then perhaps the person that you were with was more observant, seeing as she is, as you say, a lady.
Oh, yes, sir, but as a gentleman, I cannot reveal.
No, of course not. Of course not. I quite understand.
One moment. How did you know about the lady and her initial? May I return it to her?
I will return it to her.
But how, pray, can you do that if you don't know who she is?
I will return it to her.
I say there, I want a word with you.
And what might that be, mein Herr?
Don't you mein-herr me, and don't you think that I can't see through your game.
Get away from my door, you
trespasser.
Trespasser, eh? You lied to me yesterday. I'm about to report you to the authorities, and they're going to send you to prison!
Years of service, hmm?
You know, we could get thousands of shillings for that detonator.
You are not one of us, Oberstein. You do not know what it is like to be enslaved. Don't talk to me about money. We are in this to achieve freedom.
But many, many people will be killed if you set that thing off.
They deserve to be killed. For the thousands of my brothers and sisters in slavery.
All right, all right. Perhaps we can have it both ways. I'll talk to Francie.
Thank you. Hello, baby.
Madame, I am so sorry.
Hilda, I have told you before. Now, I
know,
know you
Madame.
like pretty things. This has got to stop.
I know, Madame. I'm so sorry. It will never, ever happen again.
All right, just put everything back where it belongs. Then you may start to prepare the evening meal. I want this supper to be very, very special.
Madame, is it perchance possible when your gentleman arrives that I might have the rest of the evening off?
Funny. I was going to ask you to do just that.
Oh, thank you, Madame.
After all that, damn it, once Simpson Makepeace here had helped us out of the water, the man told me that all he was doing was
deserting his post for a quick drink.
Amazing. Not really.
My uncle had come back inside after bidding the ambassador adieu. I suppose he heard the commotion as he went out again. From the window, I saw him running up the street. I ran after him. And when I got to the theatre...
Watson, is there something you can...
Yes. There. All right. It's quite natural to feel acute grief when a loved one is so suddenly taken.
Yes, he was loved. And he was kind. The kindest of men. He raised me after my parents died. He sent me to school in England. I owe everything to him.
What is it, my dear?
And yet he made that devil's machine. How could he? That's what I keep asking myself.
Yet he entrusted it into the safest of hands. Or at least he attempted to.
No, he should never have made it. Or once finished, he should have put those plans to the fire.
Perhaps you are right.
Holmes, how did you know that stage doorkeeper left his post for a drink?
The fellow's face was a fiery red and his stomach grossly inflated, and on that evidence alone it is quite clear that he is a habitual tippler.
Oh, why do I bother?
It was very kind of you to insist that the theatre superintendent did not dismiss the fellow.
Well, very least I could do when he promised he'd never touch another drop.
Now, let me give you another chance to use your powers of deduction. Pray tell me what there is to be said about that handkerchief.
The lady's handkerchief is an initial. I can make out the letter V.
Excellent.
Has anything escaped me? I trust there's nothing of consequence I've overlooked.
Perhaps a point or two. The monogram is in the Roman script, not German, so it is safe to assume that the owner is from England or from France. However, the style of the hemming is quite clearly not French, so the object must have been purchased in England. It is, of course, made of the finest cambric, so we can add that the buyer was a lady of wealth. You will, of course, have drawn your own conclusions from the perfume.
I can't smell a thing since I fell into that canal.
This scent not only confirms to us that the lady is of the moneyed classes, but it also tells us something about her personality as well. She is certainly not shy or a retiring disposition. She is of a certain age. This is not the scent of a young girl. And so we have a lady who is English, who is very well-to-do, who is at least 30 years old, who lives here in Vienna, and whose first name begins with the letter V.
Lady Violet Tremblay, the ambassador's wife.
Well done, Watson, my dear fellow, well done.
Is there anything else, Madame?
No, Hilda, you may go. And don't come back too soon.
No, Madame. Good night, sir.
Good night.
to reunions.
Reunions.
Please, do sit down.
Thank you.
I have prepared a wonderful repast for you all by myself. I do hope you're hungry.
Famished.
Good. Now, one promise. Tonight, there will be no talk of crimes and suspicions, only friendship and good cheer. Agreed?
Agreed.
Good.
After this one question, what was it you saw in the theater that you couldn't tell Dr. Freud?
Mr. Holmes, you gave your word not 5 seconds ago, and you have already broken it.
No. My promise goes into effect the moment you answer my questions.
I saw nothing.
Madam Adler! How beautiful you look tonight. I brought you these as a token of my esteem.
Well, that's very kind and generous of you, Mr. Elliot, I'm sure. But as you can see, I do have company.
That man again.
So, you will just have to excuse me, please. Thank you very much. Good evening.
Well done.
Thank you.
Now, about what you saw above the stage.
If you persist in this, I am going to throw you out just like I did Mr. Elliot.
Oh, it's you.
Sorry to be late. Important business to attend to.
I was getting worried.
I am convinced Holmes thinks the Adler woman knows more than she is saying. He's with her now, pumping her for information. Meanwhile, I have been keeping him under observation all the time. I don't believe he notices. Holmes believes I am a Viennese policeman. Tell Tsar Nicholas he need not fear. I will obtain the detonator from Mother Russia and make Holmes believe it is the Austrian Empire for whom I did so.
So, you've had some excitement, huh?
Yes, most exciting.
No, I mean the incident at the theater.
Oh, it was horrible. This man fell to his death in the midst of rehearsal.
Did anyone see the scoundrels responsible?
Oh, my mistress saw a figure in the darkness climbing down the ladder. But she could not make him out.
Oh. Too bad.
I have a surprise for you. Now, you say that you admire my singing. Well, I have captured it for you on one of these new wax discs. Listen. Come, let's dance.
No, there are some arts, or should I say sciences, which are beyond Sherlock Holmes.
What? You mean Sherlock Holmes cannot dance?
I cannot, nor do I wish to.
Oh, but you shall. I shall teach you, and I shan't take no for an answer. Come on.
But
Now, put one hand here, and one here, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Capture all that love and youth can impart, and fill the song of joy in our hearts. Oh, my love, can you hear? Can you see? Can you feel? Take the waltz in my heart. Is the love that is real? You and I are alone in the midst of the throng, while we dance through the night, for the waltz is our song. So my love, take my hand, take my heart, let us fly. Let the waltz weave a spell, till our hearts touch the sky. On and on to the moon, to the sky high above. May the waltz never end, for the waltz is our love. Waltz never ending, waltz in my heart and my dreams.
Excuse me. This.
Whoops.
Sorry.
Oh, that's all right. I'll get a cloth. I'll be right back.
Come in. Ah, good day to you, gentlemen.
Scarcely that, I'm afraid, sir. We learned so little.
Oh, dear. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, please do sit down.
Thank you. However, it is now time for a new avenue of attack. Can you let me have a list of the names and addresses of the principal foreign agents known to be in Vienna?
Ah, now my military attaché, Captain Melbury, has that sort of thing on his files. Melbury!
Yes, sir.
Can you bring me your list of foreign agents?
Foreign what, sir?
Foreign agents.
A lady's handkerchief, it seems.
Oh. Oh, yes, that's my wife's. She must have dropped it when she last visited the office. Come in. This is Captain Melbury.
May I have a word with you, sir?
You may speak freely in front of Mr. Holmes and Dr. Watson.
You're certain, sir?
They are emissaries from His Majesty's government, Melbury.
I'm afraid, sir, that the file of foreign agents has been taken from my safe.
Good grief.
And I have learned that early this morning, Simpson Makepeace was seen entering my office unescorted. He has no authority to do so.
Then he must be in league with the thieves.
It is imperative that I see Simpson Makepeace without delay.
Good Lord. He's at the Austrian Foreign Minister's castle, Count Gittings. The annual weekend party for the diplomats of Vienna starts later today. My wife herself has arranged for members of the Vienna Music Theatre to attend with other celebrities. I sent Simpson Makepeace to check the arrangements.
Sir Reginald, do you think that you could get an invitation to that party for Dr. Watson and myself?
I'll get on to Count Gittings straight away. And by Jove, gentlemen, when you get there, I trust you'll bring this devil Makepeace to justice.
Watson, there is something you can do for me.
Shall I take my service revolver?
No. Simply go to Vienna Police Headquarters. Find a certain Captain Franz Winterhauser. Ask him if he can provide you with a list of all foreign agents in Vienna. I'm sure that the Central Police has such a list.
Will this Winterhauser give it to me?
Oh, tell him that an item of the greatest importance has been stolen from the British government, and if he will not assist us, then the ambassador will submit an aid memoir.
My sources say there were no witnesses to the events in the theater.
Good. Now I have an excellent lead to our buyer.
I told you. We will use the device to further our course. I'm not here to make money for you, but to make history.
Calm yourself. Francis says we can have it both ways. You know what to do with the plans? Yes. Good. Now is the time to buy the bomb.
It will not be a problem. I would like the honor of pushing the button.
I'm sorry, my friend. Francie has decided to set it off personally. More Sauerbraten, please.
Excuse me? Excuse me. I can't seem to find Captain Winterhauser's name on the directory. Captain Franz Winterhauser, could you direct me to his office?
There is no Captain Winterhauser in the entire Vienna Police Department.
with the Christian name of Franz or anything else? Doubtless, that is why he is not on the directory.
But I was told he was at the Central Police Headquarters.
Well, sir, you were wrongly told.
Could Holmes be slipping?
Mr. Holmes.
Madame Adler, to what do I owe the pleasure?
I'm about to leave town for the weekend. There are no performances until the 1st of the month, and I just wanted to bid you au revoir.
Allow me to deduce where you are off to.
Certainly, but you will never guess.
Oh? It is quite clear to me from your attire, your coiffure, and your demeanor that you are on your way to a weekend party in a country house. No, the castle of a nobleman. No, a high government official. No, both. Castle of the Austrian foreign minister, Count Helmut Gittings.
Mr. Holmes, you are toying with me.
Oh, would you excuse me for a moment? Thank you.
Yeah, I'm terribly sorry, but the Austrian foreign ministry is adamant. Well, they say that you and Dr. Watson are on their list of undesirable persons or some such. Man, well, I'm afraid I can't get either of you those invitations.
Bad news?
I had hoped to attend the foreign minister's party myself, but it seems I've been refused an invitation.
You wish to attend to be with me?
No, in connection with my inquiries.
Ah. I think I know a way to get you there over all official objections.
How, pray, when the British ambassador himself cannot do so?
Sherlock, this is Vienna. If I hint to the foreign minister that I would sing more sweetly if only my paramour were there to hear, you will have your invitation within the hour.
I have in my time played many parts, but never... However, it is an admirable idea. I accept.
Good. I'll call right now.
And what about Watson?
Sherlock, there are limits, even in Vienna.
But I've had it ever since the Afghan War.
And a noble growth it is, but no valet would have a moustache like that.
I was trying to tell you about Captain Winterhauser.
I understand that no such person exists, despite the somewhat sharp interview I had with him. Get out and help me down.
Oh.
The bags.
Oh, the bags.
You, around back.
Mr. Holmes, delighted you were able to join us at such short notice. Madame Adler is here before you. Ah, Monsieur, Madame, welcome to my house.
I wish to join your group.
We need no more musicians in the Lakatos trio.
But I'm sure you need this.
Welcome to the Lakatos Quartet.
Thank you.
Where, sir, is that certain list stolen from the military attache's safe?
I have it here, sir. But I hardly stole it, Mr. Holmes. I only took it in order to help you rescue the detonator.
To help me?
Yes. I deduced whoever stole the device would probably want to sell it to a foreign spy. And since most of the guests at this party are probably spies in addition to their normal embassy duties, I suspected the thief would try and meet a buyer here. So I took the list in order to intervene and rescue the detonator. I say that was good thinking, wasn't it?
Insofar as I myself followed the same line, I suppose it was. However, I must caution you that you have made yourself seem a suspect because of your precipitous action. And in future, I will thank you not to attempt to assist me in any way whatsoever. I get all the assistance I need from Dr. Watson.
Oh, sir, where is the good doctor? I didn't see him at the party.
Dr. Watson is at present engaged on a most delicate task, which I particularly entrusted to him.
Excuse me, could you tell me where the servants' hall is?
Tell you, Liebchen? I'll show you.
I see the lovebirds are reunited.
How lovely you look, my dear.
Madam Adler. I'm Major von Bork of the German Embassy, and I confess, a great admirer of yours.
Why, thank you, Major. I'm charmed.
Perhaps you would permit me to accompany you on a tour of the grounds of Count Gidding's estate at some time during this party.
That's very kind of you, but I believe Mr. Holmes has promised himself that task.
Oh, no, not at all, my dear.
Irene, my dear. Ah, excuse me. Hello.
My dear Holmes, how did you manage?
Suffice it to say that I am here. It seems that Simpson Makepeace is no longer our villain, only over-anxious to be helpful, but we must keep a sharp eye on him just the same. I have the list, and interestingly enough, Major von Bork's name is on it.
It must have been a most troubling experience for you, my dear.
I've managed to put it in the past.
What a shame you didn't see the villains.
There are those who tell me I may have seen more than I remember.
In that case, That memory may always return.
I do hope so.
May I?
Oh, thank you.
Lady Cholmondeley, if I may be so indiscreet, I think I should mention that a certain handkerchief that I returned to your husband was not found in his office, as he believes.
I don't know what you're talking about, Mr. Holmes.
I rather think you do. You would not wish it to go any further.
No. It shall go no further, I promise you, Mr. Holmes. I came here with the intention of telling Mr. Bohm I shall never see him again. As he's not here, I shall write him a letter immediately.
You have taken a wise course. I only mention the matter because I must ask you what you saw of the devil who threw Dr. Frölich to his death.
I'm afraid I saw nothing up above, Mr. Holmes. After I heard Irene scream, I naturally looked down onto the stage.
But before the scream?
Ah, Mr. Holmes, I was rather preoccupied.
If you know what I mean.
Ah.
Oh, where is Irene? I was talking to her a minute ago.
The grounds are beautiful, are they not?
Oh, yes, very beautiful.
But not as lovely as you, madame.
I just saw Madame Adler taking an intimate stroll in the garden with the secret agent von Bork.
It seems he's enamored of her. It occurred to me later that perhaps I was meant to feel a certain jealousy.
Oh, I don't think you've any need to be jealous, because when he attempted to put his arm round her, she very quickly escaped.
If his approach is meant to be a ruse, I must get back at once.
What the devil are you dressed as?
What the devil are you dressed as?
I'm in disguise.
Well, so am I.
No, I mean real disguise. Not a party costume. False policeman Winterhauser is still lurking about.
Yes, perhaps it was he who searched my room this morning.
Was anything taken?
Nothing taken, nothing moved.
Then how can you tell?
Found a hair on top of the bureau. Wasn't there this morning.
Why do men keep doing that?
Herr Holmes.
Thank you, Captain.
Violet told me about your conversation of this afternoon. Now that you know about her and Eberhard, I suppose it's all right to tell you I did see them together in the theater. That was the big secret I was hiding.
Of course. Now I understand your reticence. I apologize for ever having doubted you.
Accepted. Now we must dance to seal the bargain.
Now that I cannot do.
Ah, but you proved in my rooms that you can.
Did I?
I know you can do it.
Not in public. But tomorrow I will take you for a carriage ride in the countryside.
Agreed. But tonight, we dance.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor to announce a very special guest. His Imperial Majesty the Emperor, Franz Josef.
We are so happy to have such a distinguished group of guests, including members of the diplomatic corps of many nations, here to celebrate with us. This is a time of unrest and confusion in the world. And yet we here have all worked together painstakingly to keep the peace. May the Lord bring us continued peace and cooperation among friends and neighbors. Now, my friends, please do not let a tired old man take you away from your revelry for another moment. Not only have we followed your adventures, Mr. Holmes, but the Sultan of the Ottoman Empire once kept us waiting for dinner whilst he finished one of the stories of your exploits in the Strand magazine.
I am honored, Your Majesty, and surprised.
And we have seen you upon the stage, Madame Adler. We admire your voice greatly.
I had no idea, Your Majesty. I'm overwhelmed.
We would like to see you perform in Die Fledermaus at the Music Theater.
We would be honored. I speak for myself and the entire cast, as well as our director, Franz Dietrich.
Your Majesty. When are we free to attend the opera? On the 1st of the month, then. If you think the Imperial box will be available.
I will personally make sure that it is, Your Majesty. And now, this is our conductor, Franz Zimmer.
You could perform one more favor for us, Madame Adler.
Anything that I can, Your Majesty.
We would be delighted if you would render one of our favorite songs. It is the Waltz from the Vienna Woods.
Winterhauser disappeared up the staircase.
And you better disappear after him, but be careful. No need for confrontation.
My dear Eberhard, I'm writing to bid you adieu. What we have done was wrong, and we must never see each other again. My fondest love, Violet. P.S.
Stars in the sky above, lanterns to light our love. True love now will come to you, while you waltz, love will come to you. Till our hearts touch the sky, on and on to the moon, to the sky high above.
Who the hell are you? You are Watson, posing as Holmes' valet. You hit me. I'll have you arrested for this.
You will not, and I did nothing of the kind. And who are you to talk, Captain Franz Winterhauser? I can have you arrested for posing as a policeman.
How dare you slander me in such a way?
I went to the Vienna Police Department. Nobody there's even heard of you. Why don't you have me arrested? I'll simply reveal your secret. So... Shall I tell the authorities about the false Captain Winterhauser?
I'm not sure that we should. The false captain seems to be an emissary of Tsar Nicholas. At least the coded paper found in his pocket was in Russian Cyrillic script.
If you say so. But he did burgle your room.
I'm afraid not. The hairs don't match. It was someone else altogether. Watson, it is absolutely vital that we do not relax our vigilance for one moment.
Hilda. Poor Hilda. And after all the mean things I said about her.
You mustn't blame yourself. You did nothing wrong. But this means that you are in grave danger.
Me? Why me?
She's wearing your costume, and I'm convinced that the knife was meant for you.
Holmes, your technique for reassuring ladies could use some refinement, my dear.
With whom did she have this midnight assignation?
She didn't tell me. Some manservant, I assume.
Well, Heinrich, Do you know Hilda?
No, sir. No, never met her. Never.
No? Someone told me he saw you with her.
But I mean, I never met her last night, sir. I swear.
You are a liar, Heinrich. Now give me the truth or I have you put behind bars.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry. We made a plan to meet last night in that summer house. But when I got there, she was dead, sir. So very, very dead.
Why didn't you tell anyone?
I was afraid. I feared they would think me responsible. I didn't sleep all night, sir.
I'm inclined to believe you, Heinrich. That will be all.
May I ask, who saw me with Hilda?
Only your own conscience, my lad. You told me by attempting to hide it.
Mr. Holmes, I wish to report to you about the man who joined our group and this morning has disappeared. He was stocky with a big round face. I remember he had more hair on his face than on his head. Yes, he was nearly bald.
Yes, I remember him. He also played the violin quite expertly.
Oh, isn't it awful?
Oh, just terrible, my dear. Imagine, there's no one safe.
I hear some gypsy, did it?
Oh, I don't know. I saw Hilda talking with a tall gentleman. Clean-shaven, side parting, and an upturned nose.
Yes, I saw them together as well.
As did I. And I could have sworn the gentleman was you.
No, the gentleman to whom I refer, I believe, was wearing a uniform. He was Aryan in appearance with a rather arrogant and foolish smile.
Clearly, without a maid, you cannot return to your lodgings.
Well, I shall have to find a new maid.
Certainly, I'd no trouble finding a valet.
You'll have trouble finding this one again, I can assure you.
That's not the real reason I suggest you change lodgings. There are men abroad in Vienna who will stop at nothing if they believe that you can identify them. It were best that you leave the city altogether.
I can't just leave the opera. I couldn't do that to Franz Dietrich. He put his faith in me and gave me this opportunity to star again after all these years of retirement. Besides, I'm sure it had nothing to do with me. That gypsy musician was just jealous because Hilda threw him over for the German ballet.
Perhaps.
Perhaps I should stay at your hotel, in the room next to yours.
Watson has the room next to mine, but we can endeavor to secure you a room next to his.
Huh. Sherlock Holmes, I never want to see you again.
I didn't mean to startle you. Thank you for meeting me. Huh?
It's quite all right. I must say I was surprised by your note asking for this rendezvous.
I will explain. Franz, tragedy of this young woman's death has made me reappraise my thinking. I see that I have been unfair to you. I've been blinded by the past, and I have not judged your production of Die Fledermaus fairly.
I'm touched. Genuinely touched. Perhaps you should come and review our production again, now that you're in this benevolent mood.
Perhaps I shall. Perhaps I shall.
Oh, Sherlock. forgive my excesses, but I must have supper with you. Ned Elliot.
I cannot understand. The star of the Viena music theater has been murdered, and the town is buzzing with news.
Could they have not found the body?
Sherlock Holmes. Perhaps he moved it.
Why should he do that?
I don't know. It must be some kind of trap.
Oberstein.
You idiot. Oh, no.
You didn't kill Irene Adler. You killed Irene Adler's maid.
What?
But I'm willing to buy the prototype as well as the plans, Mr. Oberstein.
No, we will sell only the plans.
But I cannot be put into a situation where I sell the plans to one of my clients, and he discovers sometime later a third party has bought the prototype and used it to manufacture hundreds of detonators of his own. You see?
But I assure you, Mr. Carpati, we will sell the detonator to no one.
But, Mr. Oberstein, what if you receive a very good offer?
We have other plans for it. It is simply not for sale.
Hello? Holmes? Holmes.
Hmm?
It's Simpson Makepeace. He's been found dead.
Dead?
And the plans for the detonating device were in his pocket.
Holmes, it seems that Simpson Makepeace was in league with these thieves from the very beginning, wouldn't you say?
I cannot theorize without data, Sir Reginald.
Ah, Sherlock Holmes, I dare say. I am Inspector Schmidt, Viennese police. It all seems so cut and dried. The man, Michael Simpson Makepeace.
The Honorable Michael Simpson Makepeace.
As you wish. It seems he was bludgeoned to death and dumped on the sludge heap here.
A falling out among thieves.
Yes. I'm afraid it's something like that.
What a nightmare.
Has anything been taken out of the pockets?
Only the drawings, which he handed over to the ambassador here.
You know, it's strange. The sludge in that cart is very wet. Yet the body's only slightly damp.
Take him away.
May I look at the plans taken from the body? Thank you. I would venture to say these plans are forged.
Forged?
Yes, I'm sure they have been altered. I did all my uncle's copying for him. I remember tracing a section here. Look, I drew this line in a curve, around and down, not up and at an angle like this. They have been copied and altered.
Thank you, Miss Pellick.
Ah, that will be my student. I teach German to help my uncle with the expenses.
Ah, well, we won't detain you.
you. Come in, please. These gentlemen are just leaving.
Well, Mr. Holmes, what a pleasant surprise. I seem to run into you everywhere. There is a lovely lady.
And I, you, Mr. Elliot. How do you explain such a coincidence?
It's no more coincidence for me than for you, wouldn't you say?
You were cleverer than you seem, Mr. Elliot. But such a question is mere sophistry. I'm investigating the theft of an invention of Miss Fröhlich's uncle, which was last seen being delivered to the theater where Madame Adler is performing. What about yourself?
I recently took a graduate degree in physics from Harvard. On vacation in Vienna, taking German lessons from Miss Fröhlich here, who suggested I might like to see the production of Die Fledermaus at the music theater. She can vouch for that.
Yes, it is true.
That's how I came to meet Madame Adler.
Just a simple tourist.
Well, I don't know about simple.
In that case, do you have a map of Vienna that you could lend me?
I think so. Let me look at my case.
This is where the body was found. And this is the house that I intend to visit. The home of a certain Hugo Oberstein. Look, Watson.
Blood?
Most probably poor Simpson Makepeace's.
But how'd it get here?
Sometime yesterday, Simpson Makepeace saw Oberstein, recognized him, and ignoring my specific instructions, followed him here. The thieves had already drawn false plans of the detonator, intending to get them to the British Embassy so that it would be believed the business had ended happily. I would be sent home.
Good evening. My name is the Honorable Michael Simpson. I'm the third secretary of the British Embassy.
And Simpson Makepeace's arrival enabled them to improve their plan. They killed him and took the opportunity to plant the counterfeit plans on his person. Then placed him in a cart, filled it with sludge, and dumped it on the pile.
They wanted the body to be found.
Yes, that is why they stuck his arm up in the air.
Holmes, look at this.
Interesting. Taking us back to the theater.
There's no clue as to who was here with Oberstein.
Perhaps one or two. No doubt Oberstein sat there. And his henchman there. But here is the seat of honor. Here sat a man of at least 15 stone. He is some 5 feet 10 inches tall, as indicated by the height at which the back of his head touched the wall. Wears a pungent hair oil, costly if deplorably vulgar. Smokes an obscure make of Hungarian cigarette called Memphis.
Holmes?
Blood. Paprika.
We haven't a moment to lose. The hair oil, cigarettes, the paprika, trademarks of the gluttonous international agent and fence Laszlo Karpati from Budapest. It is he to whom the thieves have sold the detonating device, and it is he whom we must find with all haste. Oberstein! Watson! Center of the tower!
And so, Mr. Holmes, it comes to this.
Is this where you took the fat man?
The very spot, sir.
Wait for us.
Holmes, are you feeling ill?
Aha! Paprika salami, Gundel restaurant. Karpati got his ticket here. We are being pulled in two directions, Watson. Towards Karpati, who has purchased the detonator from the thieves, towards the owner of the bat-shaped pen. Someone connected with the theater, and apparently an accomplice of Oberstein. Drive on. There's nothing else for it. I'll take the train, and you stay here and trace the owner of this.
Revolver is hardly necessary.
Dr. Freud, what are you doing here?
Mr. Holmes, I very much wish to interview you for a paper I'm writing. I find your behavior most instructive.
No time now, Doctor. I'm on my way to Budapest. Watson here is following another path to Viena. I haven't a moment to lose.
I'll go with you.
I'm afraid not. It may be dangerous. And I have to move very fast.
I'll not hamper your movements, I promise. And since you will be without your Dr. Watson, perhaps I could be of some minor assistance to you. Possibly my psychoanalytic deduction may prove an adjunct to your quite superior powers.
Very well. If Watson doesn't mind.
Not in the least.
Excellent.
You've got a hard task ahead of you, Watson.
Hope to do you proud.
I know you will. Leopoldstrasse.
Put the detonator pin in here. Then, when you press the detonator button...
And how much did this little pretty cost?
Less than Oberstein got for the plans. Well, we still have 100 shillings left. Where is Oberstein? He was due half an hour ago.
Don't wait. He isn't going to come. Oberstein is very, very dead.
God.
I got word from Francie. Oberstein's body was bedded in iron sludge. Just like the Englishman.
It is Holmes having a game with us. Don't jump to conclusions. We take the 100 shillings and we flee the country today.
You a traitor to our cause.
No, neither do I wish to be a dead patriot.
They cannot deter us from our plan. We will kill an Austrian for every Bosnian they've enslaved. And we will start with the Emperor himself.
Ah, yes.
Well, I suppose this proves it isn't mine.
Yes, it certainly does. May I ask, where did your pin come from?
Of course. It was given to me as a memento of opening night of Deflatormouse. I believe all the principals received them. Oh, and my understudy, Olga Lindstrom, managed to finagle one as well.
Who did these presents come from?
Oh, I'm sorry. From our director, Franz Dietrich.
What is it you wish to interview me about, Dr. Freud?
You throw yourself so completely into your work to the exclusion of other facets of life. This is something that greatly interests me.
Indeed.
I would like to find out how that trait developed in you.
I see.
We might start with your childhood. Were you happy as a child?
I don't see that that is relevant.
Let me guess. At your earliest years, suckling at your mother's breast.
Guess, Doctor? Guessing is a shocking habit and destructive to the logical faculty. How slowly this train moves.
Do you feel threatened by something I've said?
Don't be ridiculous.
What is on your mind, Mr. Holmes?
On my mind, Doctor? To lay my hands on that villain Carpati.
Ah, interesting turn of phrase. Lay my hands on. So, you wish to touch him then?
No, Doctor. I wish to arrest him.
Yes, I gave them to all the principal cast and staff as brooches for the ladies and tie pins for the gentlemen.
Would you write out a list for me?
In my memory, I'll have the stage manager do it for you. I gave out 30 in all. I'm afraid you have your work cut out for you.
It must be here somewhere. Let me try this. No. Let me think. Where did I put it?
Could you have left it at home?
I never took it home.
5 minutes, ladies, please.
I remember now. I put it in my jewel case last night. I left the dressing room when everybody else had gone, except for one person who came in just as I was leaving.
Who was that?
Irene Adler.
Why would Madame Adler be in the chorus dressing room?
That's what I asked her, but she said it was none of my business.
She said what? That lying little schemer.
Madame Adler, I assure you will get to the bottom of this.
You most certainly will.
Nobody else. You must see me telling him that I don't think anybody because everybody else. Yes, I was. Yes, because you are jealous.
This is all this about!
This
woman has accused me of trying to steal her
She's trying to
back
get me dismissed. I threaten her.
All right, stop!
We cannot have this kind of dissension in the cast. You'll have to leave the show.
No, if she leaves the show, everyone will think I did it. It's always the same story. The prima donna pushes out the understudy.
I don't want this on my head. No. Oh, no. If she leaves the show,
always the same
everyone is...
story.
Oh,
Say, what's this? It seems to be the missing bat pin. Here you are, my dear.
Madam, you're on!
Oh.
Tomorrow, after so many hours in the train, I venture to predict that Carpentier will go at once to his favorite Gundel restaurant for a prolonged luncheon. We are 2 hours behind, so with a bit of luck, we shall arrive before he has finished his second dessert.
Excellent.
Then we all crowded into the phone booth and swallowed all the goldfish.
Oh, no. You tell the silliest stories.
It's true. Every word of it. You're much too beautiful to lie to. I lose all my guile in your presence. Just being in the same room with you gives me chills.
My. Such a bad little boy.
Well, I don't have it with me.
Of course not. Perhaps bring it to the theater tonight.
Oh, I couldn't do that. It's not at my home, you see.
Oh. Then where is it exactly?
Well, that is, I give it away as a present to a friend.
Someone with the initial V, no doubt.
No doubt.
Take a breath. Oh, Mr. Carpati, you mean?
Precisely.
Yes, he left after having 2 luncheons and 1 dessert.
1 dessert?
He asked for a second, but we ran out. It made him furious.
Well, where did he go?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you for your assistance.
Well, Holmes, what do we do now?
I haven't the faintest idea.
What I mean to say is, to put it delicately, do you admit to having received a bat-shaped, jewel-encrusted pin from a certain singer from the Viena Music Theatre?
That was most delicately put, Doctor. Yes, I did receive such a pin. Eberhard told me of your impending visit, so I tried to find it to show you, but I'm afraid it's disappeared.
Could it have been stolen?
Oh, I doubt if anything as dramatic as that has happened. I may simply have dropped it.
Well, where could you have done this?
I don't know. Eberhard gave it to me at Count Gitting's castle. It was a farewell present.
Could you have dropped it at the castle?
No. I had it in my hand as I got into the carriage to drive back to the embassy. And I don't remember seeing it since. I may have dropped it somewhere between the castle and the embassy.
Thank you, Lady Cholmondeley, for your candor.
We are so close, yet so far away.
Perhaps I have an idea. Carpentier is propelled by gluttony. He has failed to emerge from the anal stage of early development.
Capital. No doubt we should look for him in a privy.
That is not the room I had in mind. Answer this. What is the room we leave without entering? The room we enter without leaving?
We are on urgent business, Doctor. I have no time for riddles.
Can this be because you do not know the answer?
The room that we leave without entering is the womb. And the room that we enter without leaving is the tomb.
Excellent. Until Carpentier dies, he will spend his life in gluttony, in guilt, and in seeking substitutes for his mother's womb.
No doubt. But how does that help us to find him?
The perfect mother substitute awaits.
Excuse me, gentlemen, excuse me.
No, you have to go back. Go to back of the line before.
It's most important that I get inside. I'm looking for a Mr. Carpati. He's a rotund gentleman who smells of paprika.
There is no accounting for taste.
Is he inside?
Yes, he's inside, but you are not.
Sorry, I got distracted. We shall have to wait until he comes outside.
Yeah, too bad. Nobody's getting in. Marita, you just have to wait in line.
I think we should go round to the back. Carpati will be making his way out shortly.
Wouldn't he wish to see Marita? She takes a leave.
Better than that, he will be with her. And I expect that he will have arranged for further entertainment of a more private nature. Excuse me, sir. May I have a word with you?
Considering the circumstances, I am at your disposal.
I am authorized to purchase the detonator plans and the prototype on behalf of Great Britain. Name your price.
Most intriguing. 10,000.
Penga or shillings?
Pounds, British sterling.
That is 10 times the price asked by Dr. Fröhlich.
But Dr. Fröhlich is no longer alive. And now I have the plans. 10,000 is my price.
5.
Not a penny below 9.
6, then.
8 3/4.
6 1/4.
7 1/2.
Done.
You have it with you?
I do not, but I can bring it to a rendezvous within half an hour.
This evening, I have other business to attend. Tomorrow, meet me at my hunting lodge in Puster Forest. 12 noon.
At noon, then. Thank you for your assistance, Dr. Freud. You may now release the lady.
With pleasure.
Merhaba Karpati no koşteyo.
Yine gelirsin ara.
Listen.
Listen.
Your regelt.
Come in, my friend.
I hope my early arrival has not inconvenienced you.
No, not at all.
I'm so glad to see you again.
Yes, especially since I have what you want so badly. You are, armed?
No, as you instructed.
Good. Neither am I. You have the money with you?
Of course. 10,000 pounds, British sterling.
Oh, very good. Here you are, my friend.
Nice. Very nice. You know what we can do with a machine such as this?
That is precisely why I am here. No! Not if you wish to remain alive.
It's 10 a.m., Karpati.
I'm due at noon. Planning to betray me?
No, no, never. I was going to deliver the plans to you.
So, you were going to betray me then?
No, no. Yes, I mean, he's holding the gun.
Exactly. Now, where is the prototype of the device?
What prototype? You told me nothing of a prototype. You truly were going to betray me.
No, no. Don't move. Stay where you are, Sherlock Holmes. And you, whoever you are.
He claims to be Captain Winterhauser of the Vienna police, but the police have never heard of him. I venture to think an agent of Tsar Nicholas II is more like it.
Quite correct, Mr. Holmes. And I want a detonating device.
How delightful. We seem to have an auction. Russia, Britain, Germany, all represented. Who will start the bidding? We'll open at 10,000 pounds sterling. Do I hear 20?
All right. I'll give you double, Karpati. You kill these two, and then give me the plans.
Oh, I have a better offer. Give me the plans, and I'll let you live.
And what is your offer, Mr. Holmes?
I will not bargain like a common huckster. I can only appeal to your sense of morality.
Now look what you did. I hope you're not too badly wounded, my friend. You must continue the bidding.
Now, the prototype.
I tell you a secret, Sherlock Holmes. I cannot be intimidated by you. Your sense of fair play is too well developed for your own good. You won't shoot me in cold blood, so you can't make me tell you a thing.
I turn to my Russian colleague.
You think I will not shoot?
No, no, I know you will. It's true what I said. Oberstein will not sell me the prototype at any price. Please.
You believe him?
Yes.
Good. Give me the plans. I will take them for Tsar Nicholas.
No, give them to me, for the greater glory of Kaiser Wilhelm.
But they are the property of Britain, gentlemen. As you very well know.
They're the property of whoever possesses them.
Exactly.
A good point. So, they are the property of...
No! Don't do it!
No one.
What do you think? First rate.
If Oberstein refused to sell the prototype to Karpati, it can only mean that Oberstein's colleagues are planning to use the prototype themselves to blow something or somebody up.
Precisely.
Good luck, my friend. I will say goodbye and go separately to my home.
Goodbye, Dr. Freud. Your help has been invaluable.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you, young man.
Hotel Delville. What did you discover with your inquiries?
All the bat pins are accounted for, except for one. It seems that Eberhard Böhm gave his to a certain lady with the initial of V. She lost it somewhere between the castle and the British Embassy.
And how did she reach her destination?
In the embassy coach.
To the British Embassy, fast as you can. Excuse me. Are you Sir Reginald Cholmondeley's coachman?
Yes, I am. My name is Sergei Duvak. How can I help you?
My name is Holmes, and
I know who you are, sir, and your friend.
Good. Did you drive Lady Cholmondeley back from the weekend party at Count Gitting's castle?
Let me think.
I say you can hardly forget the castle.
Ah, yes, I did. The ambassador went on ahead.
Please produce the golden jeweled pin that she left in the carriage.
I'm sorry, sir. I saw no such pin. And I clean the carriage every morning. I could look again if you wish.
No, that won't be necessary, thank you. Come, Watson.
A waste of time.
I didn't expect him to tell us anything. That was hardly the point of the interview.
Then what was? Drive on.
So, now in your dream you do confess.
But I don't know to what. What can it mean?
What do you think it means? A monk? A man with no sexual expression? A man in flowing robes like a woman's gown? A man with the power to condemn you, the power to kill you, to axe you to death?
Could it be Mr. Sherlock Holmes?
Something rings false about that interpretation. No, it is someone else.
And yet I can't get Mr. Holmes out of my mind.
Nor I. I have invented a new theory to account for his behavior. I call it sublimation. This is the mind's way of substituting acceptable behavior for the fierce, instinctual demands we all have for sexual gratification. In Holmes, this has taken place to an extraordinary degree. He has made himself into more than the confirmed bachelor we speak of. He has become the total bachelor. All those powerful instincts have been directed to one end. The work of detection. He has made himself into a genius who only exists to benefit society. And yet...
Yes, and yet...
He fears... He fears now, as he grows older, that this has caused him to miss something in life. He said to me on the train, Freud, when I'm gone, nothing will be left of me except a handful of Watson's accounts, which in 10, 20 years' time, no one will remember. A genius, yes. But I pity him.
My plan was a failure. The man simply went to fetch a new coach lamp. I'm at a dead end, Watson.
That Sherlock Holmes is getting much too close.
He suspects me, not you.
Calm down.
No. I'm sorry I ever gave Oberstein that pin I found in the carriage.
Oh, it was a good idea. We could have used it to blackmail the ambassador's wife to do our bidding.
But now Oberstein is dead. I will not wait for Sherlock Holmes to kill me as well. I'm leaving the country. I will go back to Bosnia.
Do you not wish to be here tonight to celebrate when we blow up the father of the Austro-Hungarian Empire?
I'll celebrate in Bosnia.
Good day, sir.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent.
A break in the case?
An invitation to luncheon with Irene Adler.
Ah, you must be Mr. Holmes.
Yes, I am.
Madame Adler asked me to let you into her rooms. Follow me, please. She seemed very excited to see you. I think the lady likes you, good sir.
That's odd. The last time I saw her, she said she never wished to see me again.
Perhaps because she likes you too much.
You're a wise old man.
I have known many women in my life. I'm sure you have as well.
Not necessarily. What I have seen of the love affairs of others has not led me to regret that deficiency in my own experience.
And why is that, good sir?
Women are not to be trusted, not the best of them. They are conniving, devilish, weak when it suits them. Although stronger-willed than we, they twist us round their skirts, and I'm told they leave a terrible mess in the bath.
You want me to take you back down, then?
That would not be necessary. I am expected, and besides, I'm famished. Thank you.
You're welcome, good sir.
Glad to see me.
Indeed I am. A toast to you.
Thank you.
You're most welcome.
To think that you would toast me when I am devilish, conniving, weak when it suits my needs, and yet stronger-willed than you. That I would twist you around my skirts, although I do believe you meant to say apron strings. And yes, I must admit that I do leave a mess in the bathroom.
So once again, I have been tricked by Irene Adler. I salute you.
Madame Adler asked me to let you into her rooms, good sir.
I'm deeply distressed if anything I said offended you.
Not in the least. You were completely honest. I like that.
Flowers are beautiful, if not exactly subtle.
I have an ardent suitor. Very charming young man. Much too young, much too impetuous.
Mr. Elliot.
Yes.
Are you jealous? Oh, I do hope so.
Not in the least. It's just that I don't think that young man is quite what he seems.
You are jealous, aren't you? Well, you needn't be. We only went to dinner.
What did you tell him?
What do you mean?
About the detonator, the death of Dr. Freilich, what you saw.
Nothing. He didn't ask. We had a nice chat about his college, my career, the fact that the Emperor is coming to the opera. Just pleasant chatter. Unlike some people who can only talk about business.
I beg your pardon. No more business.
Good. Because I don't have much time. I have 2 performances today, and the matinee is in a couple of hours. But I did want to see you first. To talk about us.
What will you do if there are security officers posted in the box?
They will surely arrive before the evening performance. I will do it before the matinee.
Very good, but we must protect ourselves in every way. I say we kill Holmes now and be done with it.
Other men have tried, and look what has happened to them.
Oberstein for one.
Yes, but we cannot sit here doing nothing while he figures out our plan for tonight. Nothing must happen to dim our moment in the limelight.
True. What we must do is shine a brighter light to attract the moth. Create a diversion.
Yes. Yes, the way to stop Holmes is through Irene Adler. Everyone in Vienna knows she is his mistress.
I understand if you don't want me to be your mistress. I understand that you're much too dedicated to your work for that kind of thing. And I am sorry that I said I never wanted to see you again. I realized I was just being very selfish. Trying to make you be the way I want you to be, instead of just accepting you the way you are. I've come to understand that you are not going to change. And I promise I won't try to change you.
Kind of you.
So why don't we get married? I know it's quite a surprise. I won't make any demands.
Thank you.
I'll, cook for you, mend your clothes, make sure that your house is in order.
Well, that's very kind of you, but Mrs. Hudson...
I'll accompany you to social events. I'll stand by you. It's quite all right if you don't love me. I really don't care about that.
I do admire you, Irene. You've no idea how difficult it is for me to say Irene. I don't even call Watson by his Christian name. I suppose I have loved you after my fashion these many years. I think of you often. You've no idea how often. I even dream about you. Marriage is not for me. That kind of closeness is not in my nature. You've no idea how relieved I was when Watson moved out of Baker Street to get married some 20 years ago. I could not live with anyone. Not even such an utterly enchanting woman.
In that case, when the show closes, I shall go back to America. You will never see me again.
I'm very sorry to hear that.
Shall we have one last dance?
Olga, Madame Adler hasn't arrived for the matinee. You'd better get into costume, just in case.
Finally, Viena will see Rosalind the way she was meant to be played.
I must check the security of the Imperial box.
Of course, mein Herr.
How amazing that Hoffman should change his mind so.
He said the death of that poor maid made him see the light. But God only knows what he really has in his twisted mind.
And he's coming to review us again tonight?
Yes. That's why we must make sure nothing goes wrong tonight. If everything isn't absolutely perfect, I'm ruined.
Madame Adler has arrived.
Now we wait.
Watson, answer that, will you? Great heavens. No.
She just disappeared. Poof, she was gone.
And you were no doubt once more out drinking at the time.
No, never.
Holmes!
Elliot. Do you know his address?
No, I never had occasion to ask.
When is his next lesson?
Not for 2 days.
Did he ever ask you about your uncle's detonating device?
Yes. Yes, he seemed very interested in it.
Perhaps we could find Elliot through the American embassy. Holmes?
Of course. What a fool I've been. It's not Elliot. Madame Adler has been kidnapped because I am getting too close to the conspirators and they have arranged a diversion. The way to find Irene Adler is the same as the path to the detonator.
Let go of me! Let go! I didn't want you to get your hands off of me! Ow! Here!
To the British embassy with all speed!
Francie must be sure not to press this button until the proper moment.
We must remind him. He must be within 150 yards of the father to be sure of the job.
There he is.
Serge said he was leaving just like that. And he's gone, taking most of his possessions with him. I just don't understand it. He was a very good coachman. He was exceptional with the horses.
What does it say?
Pleasant, friendly note. Worrying about his sub-rosa activities, it ends, if ever you need a place to hide, Sergei, remember our farm is always at your disposal. Return address, Bosnia.
But that's where they've taken Madame Adler.
I know, my dear Watson, that's where they want us to think they've taken Madame Adler. Merely a false trail to lure us away from Vienna. This letter tells us one thing. Whatever they are planning is to happen nearby and almost at once. This must be it. I was a fool to have been deceived before.
A secure padlock.
Only as strong as its weakest link. Srpskom narodu, to the Serbian people.
Someone's been here recently. Perhaps a silver one. There's an ash smoldering in the tray.
I was so sure. Why is the air coming from behind?
So long. My own stupidity. I failed to detect your double bluff. Congratulations. Who might you be?
That is no concern of yours. But where is the good Dr. Watson?
Behind you. Drop the gun.
I suggest you hand me your weapon. Unless you wish to meet the same fate.
Yes, they chloroformed me, but I'm all right now.
What is behind this?
A million years, I'll never tell you.
They're planning to kill someone tonight. I heard them talking.
Whom are you going to kill? Where's the detonator?
Tell me if you want to live. You can kill me, but our movement will go on. That button will be pressed.
Did you hear anything else?
I was so groggy, let me think.
Holmes! You fool, you've killed him!
I saved your life, for God's sake.
You saved nothing. That knife was at least 3 feet away, and I'm perfectly capable of protecting myself, Mr. Elliot.
What are you doing here anyway?
Allow me to introduce myself. Ned Elliot, an alias. My Christian name is Elliot. My surname is...
Ness. Elliot Ness. United States Department of Alcohol and Firearms.
How did you...
You gave yourself away, young man, the first time that we met, when you pretended that you didn't know who I was. Everybody knows who I am. Your play acting suggested that you were trying to hide your identity, and so I made telegraphic inquiries to America. And now, thanks to your ineptitude, Mr. Ness, the one remaining link to the prototype lies dead, and we stand here without the faintest idea of the identity of the intended victim.
I'm sorry. It's my first case.
What a surprise.
I'll make up for it. Let me work with you.
I know one clue that would be in Bosnia, but I'm too tired and too old to be running about for a train.
I'll go. It's the least I can do.
You're sure you won't make another mistake?
Oh, no, sir. I'll succeed this time. I promise.
Very well. Watson, the letter.
Letter?
The letter.
Oh! The letter.
Bosnia, here I come.
I thought you'd never leave.
Now, remember exactly what you heard them say.
I don't remember. I don't remember.
You can do it. Reach into the depths of your unconscious. Drag it out through the haze. You can do it, you can do it.
I can't. I can't. Oh. Wait.
Franzi, must remember that button You must press the button. Must... Oh. Must be within yards. 150 yards. Must be within 150 yards.
Within 150 yards of what, my dear?
The father. The father. Must blow up the father. The father, this... Help me, please. Please. Please help me.
1, 2, 3.
Must I have any help?
Very much so.
But who is this Francie? And whose father is he to kill?
Half of Vienna is named Franz.
But all of Vienna has a father. Or did at one time.
Yes, but it's not just a father. They said the father. Could it be a priest?
The Pope? Of course. It is the edible father. It is the man who represents authority to these malcontents. The man on whom they can project all their frustrations and inability to succeed. It is the Emperor Franz Joseph, father of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Yes.
Oh, my God. He's attending tonight's performance of Die Fledermaus.
We can tell them call off the performance.
If they do, the conspirators, whatever remains of them, will simply choose another time and another place and strike again. Now, I want you to go to a hotel. Don't tell anybody where you are. And stay there until we've apprehended these villains.
I can't do that. And you say the show must go on, I must go on with it.
But this will tip off this Francie. You have escaped.
True, but that diversion was meant for me. I doubt it could affect his master plan.
I'm going on. Now, with the Emperor in the audience, there is no way I'm going to let Olga Lindstrom sing in my place.
The assassin may be anyone. We mustn't let him know that we know anything of his plan. Or he may set off the bomb prematurely. Dr. Freud, would you observe the audience as they're being seated and see if you can detect anyone who looks like an assassin? Watson.
Yes.
Come, Watson, we must get down. We mustn't be seen.
Now you know what to do when you find the bomb.
Yes. I'll run with it under my coat out of the theater into the park. Then I'll go 200 yards away from the building and throw the thing in the river.
What are you doing here?
Mr. Holmes, what a surprise.
Not as surprised as I am, Your Majesty, to find this agent of Tsar Nicholas II in the Imperial box a moment ago.
Well done, Mr. Holmes. However, Captain Winterhauser is a trusted member of our inner circle. He has been on a special assignment, acting as what might be called a double agent. But that assignment seemed to burn up in a Hungarian hunting lodge, so we asked him to accompany us tonight. Now, perhaps you might tell us why you are here.
Your Majesty, an attempt will be made tonight by an anarchist to assassinate you, and the safest thing that you can do is to return to the palace immediately.
Can you identify this anarchist before he achieves his aim?
I don't know, sir, but that is our objective.
Then carry on.
I'm sure that you would not prefer to say that you have been taken ill, sir.
I have much faith in your abilities, Mr. Holmes.
We must turn our attention to finding the villain with the detonator button. I strongly urge you to leave. We will not be intimidated by terrorists, Mr. Holmes. Very well. I will leave Dr. Watson here at your Majesty's service.
No one in the theater looks any more like a criminal than anyone else.
Then we must try another path. Who has obtained seats since Sunday? That is when the Emperor decided to attend this performance.
Nobody, sir. The performance was already booked out.
But somebody must have.
Not through the box office. If they did, they must have had house seats.
Who controls those seats?
The director, sir. Franz Dietrich.
Franz? Find him anywhere.
Nor I.
One last thought.
Have you located the bomb?
I'm afraid not. My fabric is a failed. Watson is up in the box with the Emperor. Who was added to the list of guests for tonight after the Emperor decided to attend?
When word got out about the Emperor, he suddenly had many new friends.
There are a great many names here.
4 of them named Franz.
Tell me all about these Francis. This one, for instance. Franz Hoffmann.
Critic.
He attended the opening night.
Yes, but I invited him to see the show again.
When he hates you so?
He had a change of heart.
Very convenient. Why does he hate you?
We went to the university together, so I know too much about him. Suggested Hoffmann is not his real name.
Of course. That's it. The ominous, all-powerful monk in Madame Adler's dream. Who had the power to find her guilty but the most powerful theater critic in Vienna? The image is so thoroughly repressed for the sight of Franz Hoffmann pushing the frail inventor Fröhlich to his death.
Yes. Hoffmann's real name. What is it?
Hakevich.
Serbian.
Bosnian.
Und holt sich an dem Glase Rubine auf die Nase, schloss an und huldigt dem Vereine, dem König aller Weine, dem König aller...
Und huldigt dem Vereine, dem König aller Weine, dem König aller Weine. Schluss. Die Weine sind dort anerkannt, rings im Land, Jubel und Champagner, der Erste sind genannt. Die Weine sind dort anerkannt, rings im Land, Jubel und Champagner, der Erste sind genannt.
Der Mönch in stiller Zelle, tralalalala, gab sich an die Quelle, tralalalala, zu nett sind seine Lieben, muskierend auf der Reben, und holt sich an dem Glase, Rubinen auf die Nase, schloss an, und huldigt im Vereine, den König aller Weine, den König aller Weine. Schloss an, schloss an. Die Majestäten anerkannt, rings im Land, Jubel und Champagner, der erste Sie genannt. Die Majestäten anerkannt, rings im Land, Jubel und Champagner, der erste
Move away, or I will press the button.
The moment you do, your game is up. Don't want to end up as a martyr on the gallows, do you? To America, where you say you must return.
Why don't you come to America with me? You know, you might like it.
No, I must get back to England.
Oh, why?
Well, there's the affair of Lady Fitzmorgan and the bareback rider and the amateur mendicant society.
I know that I can never have Sherlock Holmes. No one can. Sherlock Holmes is needed by everyone. But it does seem a shame that after you're gone, mankind will no longer have a Sherlock Holmes.
And mankind will have to go on as best it can.
Unless, of course, you were to have a son.
Get your newspaper! Evening edition! Newspaper here! Get your newspaper!
Mycroft.
You were supposed to bring those detonator plans back to England. Not burn them in some godforsaken Hungarian hellhole.
May I remind you that you said that my task was to keep the detonator out of the hands of countries less scrupulous than our own, and that I did.
In any case, His Majesty King Edward offers you his warmest gratitude for preventing the assassination of the Austrian Emperor.
Well, I hope that the Emperor Franz Josef's desire for peace rubs off on his ally, the Kaiser.
My own calculations suggest that a war of worldwide proportions would have begun had you not succeeded.
Absurd, needless alarmism.
Doctor, I hope you're right. Good day.
It says, "My dear Holmes, please open the champagne. I will return shortly. Irene."
May I have that?
What's this on the back? In your own hand. Porter is Irene. What deuce?
It's nothing. Nothing at all. Just an inconsequential note that I wrote to myself.
Oh, so you're not seriously thinking of marrying that Adler woman, are you?
Watson, as you well know, I am not the marrying kind. And yet, a son.